Hello YouTube, Spuzie coming at you. There's a new hunter to join the Supervive roster. He's called Beebo, and in this video, I'm gonna go over the abilities and show you exactly how he works. Let's begin. And we start with his passive. Beebo travels on top of a miniaturized planet called Matter Ball. This allows him to freely move over hazardous terrain without any consequences. Beebo is also 10% lighter than other hunters, meaning that all impulses like a knockback or the spring of a jump pad affect him slightly more than other characters. His shift ability is called Swoop, and it's a small dodge move that has 2 charges. After the ability is used, Beebo also gains a decaying movement speed buff. If he uses the dash in quick succession, the movement speed buff does not stack. Leveling up this ability reduces its cooldown further. Beebo has a melee auto attack that has 2 separate uses. If you click, it's a smack that deals a little bit of damage and applies a slow that stacks 3 times. If you hold down the left click, Beebo charges his melee attack and deals damage and knocks people back depending on how long it's been charged. If it's fully charged and the target is knocked into a wall, the target is also stunned. This charged version can also be used on wisps, which is just a very rude way to execute somebody. And finally, the charged left click can also be used to cut down trees, stunning any enemy the tree lands on. This makes it particularly scary for anyone to fight Beebo around lots of trees. His Q throws out a small bomb that starts growing in size over time until it reaches a cap. Beebo can reactivate the bomb to explode it, dealing AoE damage based on how long it's been charged. The bomb lasts for a very long time and it can stick to enemies. Enemies can also destroy it if they deal damage to it. And Beebo can also interact with it to pick it up and get its cooldown back. But most importantly, Beebo can use his charged left click to send the ball flying. And this definitely makes for some great fun combos. And like with anything, the ball flies further the longer the left click has been charged. Finally, the bomb can also be thrown on top of the environment, like on walls and trees, in order to bounce off and reach places further away. Leveling up this ability gives it 25% more damage and then refunds 20% of its cooldown per target it hits. His right click is called Zeep Zeep, and it's a small, long-range projectile that has different effects depending on which Zeep Beebo has prepared in his slingshot. The Fire Zeep creates a small burning zone that deals damage over time and applies anti-heal. The Ice Zeep grounds enemies hit and also creates an ice platform when used over the abyss. The Heal Zeep heals any allies hit with the ability, and if the projectile hits an enemy or a wall, the Zeep falls to the ground where it can be picked up by anyone, friend or foe. The Healing Zeep will also heal your bomb if it's taken damage by enemies. The Pull Zeep deals no damage but pulls the first enemy hit towards you. This can also be used on terrain to instead pull Beebo towards it. And, you might have guessed it already, you can also pull the bomb towards you using this Zeep. You can see which Zeep Beebo is going to fire next as it hovers around his character. Pressing right click will instantly send out this Zeep. Now, if the player instead holds down right click, you will begin cycling between the different Zeeps. And the order is always the same. Fire, ice, healing, pull. And finally, Beebo has a 1% chance to load up a Super Zeep. Holding down right click with this will not cycle it into other Zeeps. This deals triple damage and has a huge knockback. Leveling up this ability first gives you more damage and then reduces its already short cooldown by half. And lastly, we have Beebo's ultimate, where he gets into a cart and drives off, covering a great distance. You can use your aim to turn while driving, but it will reduce your max speed. Striking an enemy will stun them and deal damage. They're also scooped up by the cart and will follow it either until the ride ends or until Beebo hits a wall. Now, if he does, the enemy takes additional damage and are stunned again. Allies struck by this ability are also scooped up for the ride. And as you level up your ultimate, allies who are scooped up will also be shielded. Importantly, if you jump, dash, or press R again while the cart is on the move, Beebo will jump out, but the cart will continue, and it can still damage and stun enemies it takes with it, only there's no driver. Even more importantly, if you run over your Q, the cart will scoop up that as well, allowing you to detonate it for free on whoever you pick up along the way. And even more importantly still, while you're in the car, you can press left click to honk the horn. Always honk the horn, people. Thank you. And that's Beebo. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna get out there and practice it. If you want to watch me do that live, feel free to come over to my Twitch page at twitch.tv/Spuzie. If you found this video helpful, feel free to drop a like. And if you want more Supervive content, there's a link to a video explaining every single hunter in the game and how they work on your screen right now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Do it!